Welcome back to Midday. The North Shore is somewhere where new things were always developing, and you guys have worked very hard to evolve the North Shore and move it in the right direction, the direction that the community would like to see it go in. This is Steve and Paolo. Welcome.
Welcome. Thanks for having us on today. It's a really exciting day for us.
Yeah.
We have our all candidates dialogue is what we call it. It's like speed dating for candidates and for the public.
Yeah, it's a great way to put it.
It's tonight at 6 p.m., 6 to 8 p.m. at the North Shore Community Center where Cottonwood Manor is. So come on into the center. It's in the great big theater room. So each candidate, by-election candidate, whether they're a mayoral or a councillor candidate, gets their own table. They sit there, and then you get to go, and it's like a trade show for voters.
Yeah.
So you get to go and check out their material, talk to that person, and we kind of make it a little bit like speed dating for voters. Every 5 minutes we'll ring a bell.
You can talk and move along.
Yeah, and so it's a chance for everyone to really have a good dialogue with the people that are going to help set our taxes for the next year at least, and then maybe get reelected after that.
And I see there being great potential for that being more productive conversation.
It is far more productive
than the traditional format that a forum takes. Are there set topics, or can people come with questions prepared that
anything they want? There's no stage. There's no people waiting in line for 3 minutes.
Yeah.
You can go right up to the
Nobody
person.
dominates the microphone.
Exactly. Well, there's no microphone.
Yeah.
Well, actually, I get one to tell people when to move on and stuff like
well,
that.
I get one.
So yeah, we brought that model out last election, and it was really popular. We did it just for city councillors, and it was incredibly popular. People loved it, so we brought it back again this year. So it allows for more community dialogue, a more open debate, and you can really kind of kick the tires for which vehicle you want to vote for.
Yeah, that's a great way to phrase it. You also, interaction one-on-one is different than interaction, on a stage or from the seat.
It's far less adversarial, we find, and that's why we call it a dialogue.
Yeah.
And also, if for the city councillors, the people who want to be our city councillors, it doesn't give them really anywhere to hide.
Right.
And I'm not saying that in a negative tone, but if you get asked a question and you don't answer it, that's on you as a candidate.
That person is still sitting there for another 3 minutes looking at you.
Exactly. So we're really excited about that format. It's been wild on Facebook. That's how we advertised it, and we hopefully will have a good turnout. We had over 300 voters come through at the last one, so we hope to have more this time.
Okay, that's exciting. That's great. Something else that's going on right now with the North Shore there was a survey done given out to businesses? Yeah,
businesses and consumers. When I started in this job about 4 years ago, I inherited a really awesome social infrastructure, a social foundation that was there. Last year, it was really tested. Last year, we had the opioid crisis. We had a group of thugs come into town that were harder and meaner than anything we had seen in a long time, in about 10 years. And that really pushed both the downtown and the North Shore and other areas. It really got the water right up to here on us, and it was very difficult.
What timing to come into a new job.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I saw what the good piece was,
good luck.
And then we worked through the Coordinating Enforcement Task Force, which all affected organizations and agencies worked through the City of Kelms. Thought we were doing really good going into this summer. We were doing really good going into this summer.
Yeah, you had traction. Things
we had traction.
In the right direction.
Yeah, we had great communication. We still have all that, but what happened is we had the street level population from the evacuated areas come in, and that really challenged us as well. We saw the opioid crisis hit levels that no one could fathom even a year ago.
Absolutely.
So it was really challenging. It was really hard, and we really got hit in the south end of the Toronto market. And so what we found going to our partner organizations through the CETF and its working groups and the other communication models that we have, that just doing a complaint-based model where it just had anecdotes and secondhand stories, we wanted to find out what's really going on.
Yeah, and how do you find a solution from complaints? You can't.
Exactly. And so it's not just me going up to stores saying how it's going, this happened, that happened. So we did a survey. It was well received. We had just under 140 of our members do it. So about a quarter of our members.
Encouraging. People are participating.
Yeah, and we put up the link. We made some calls and posted on Facebook. And what we found is that from our business's point of view, the Brockler Shopping Center, 8th Street, 12th Street corridors, Fortune, North Hill Center, the north end of the market didn't really feel it as much as the south end of the market did. So from U Street south. So that was really good information for us. And 78% of the respondents were from that bottom L of the Toronto market area. They found that they had an ongoing and rising problem with needle debris and drug use debris. An ongoing and rising problem with aggressive negative transients, street level drug use, street level drug dealing, and we saw that as well. So what that did is it brought from the what's going on to now we have the reality of what our customers or our businesses are facing as well.
And you can't start changing things until you know what you're looking at.
So you can identify the problem.
What are we dealing with?
And it was really well received. We've met and had briefings with City of Kamloops staff, Ask Wellness, RCMP, bylaws, and so now we have that data as to what's actually going on, and they can compare it to their data that they use.
Right.
It's really allowed us to move forward on some stuff that had been either already in action or focus on new things. And then the one thing we found too is how much our customers cared about it. That was a big thing that
It's important for people to be heard and to be able to communicate their frustrations.
we got just inundated. We posted the business survey August 2nd. It was going to end September 1st. And then just our Facebook just went, and our phones went nuts, and the email went nuts.
Wow.
And I was stopped on the street. I'd be shopping with my kids, be like, "Hey, I want to fill that out." Well, I can't. You're not a business. Well, why can't you do one for us? Well, we're the North Shore Business Association, right? It's outside of our mandate to do one for residents, for homeowners.
Good.
So we went back to our, they could if they wanted to. We went back to our board of directors, we went back to our businesses, talked to them and said, what do you guys think? There's obviously a big push, and people were going into our businesses and saying, I want to do that survey too, why can't I? So our businesses were reacting. It was overwhelming. So we did a consumer survey, not as big or as in depth or as data ranging as our business survey.
Right.
We don't have the resources to do that.
Yeah.
But what we did find is that we posted it just online, did a Facebook post, and in 2 weeks, 998 people filled it out.
Wow.
So it was a pretty big response. And it was, where are you from? How often do you shop on the North Shore? Have you seen the same problems that our businesses are reporting? We had categories for that.
And was it fairly consistent when it all boiled
It
down?
really was. It really was. Except the one thing that our customers included was the transit exchange at North Hill Centre. That was the only addition. But a lot of them said, don't really see the problems to the degree we see it like in the downtown or the south end of the Trunk-Hill Market corridor. So that was reassuring to us. It's not a North Shore problem.
Right.
And we
It's
can
an
counter
isolated
that
area. And
bias, whatever I can't say on TV right now. But we have these two concentrated commercial areas that got hit pretty bad. For us, it was the Trunk-Hill, south end and Trunk-Hill Market corridor. And then the other thing we asked them, has that deterred you from shopping? And that was about 58.6% said yes, right? Which is concerning to us.
So now the question is, what happens?
Yeah, well, one of the things we found that was really neat about it was, from our consumer point of view, how many of you reported that to the business or to authorities? 60% didn't.
Oh.
And so when we circled back with the RCMP with their great staff, they're like, you got to encourage your businesses. If we
We
don't
can't
know,
do anything if we don't know anything.
if they're not
right?
calling in, how do we track it? How do we know, right? They have their ways of tracking it, but they need that community involvement. So moving forward, we've seen some great successes already in that area through bylaws, RCMP enforcement, but it's 4 pillars, right? There's prevention, treatment, harm reduction, and enforcement. You want to be preventative of it. You want to be able to treat the people who are suffering from this, whether it's mental illness or they've gone all the way into the sex trade or into addictions, right? You want to have harm reduction. The overdose prevention sites that Axe Wellness has done, we're so welcomed and applauded by our businesses. They're doing a great job. We need to continue that program. And then you look at also enforcement. Enforcement is someone who isn't from here, doesn't want help, is being belligerent, doesn't want services. Well, then enforcement kicks in, right? But there's those 4 pillars. Yes.
Okay, so there's a plan in place, this information is gathered, and the North Shore Business Association is doing great things.
Oh, thank you so much.
We appreciate what you guys are doing, and that people are still engaged
Yes.
and looking for solutions is a really good sign for the direction.
Thank you so much.
So make sure you come out to that forum tonight. Again, do you want to give the information
6 to
really
8
quick?
p.m. at the North Shore Community Center, which is at Cottonwood Manor. It's a great big room. You can come and you can kick the tires, find out which vehicle you want to take your opinions and views onto City Council and to the mayor's seat. That's a big one as well.
Yes, absolutely. An
6 to 8
opportunity
p.m.
for dialogue. Thanks so much for coming on.
Thanks for having us.
Love the information. If people would like more, where can they visit?
It'll be released once I get back to the office on our website at nsbia.com.
All right, coming to you in a couple of minutes.
Yes.
We'll be back with more Midday in just a moment.